Ugh. Don't fall in that. Whew. It's almost the end for the amateur historian again. Well, howdy do everybody. Steve, the amateur historian. Again, coming to you from southeast Portland. Of course it starts sprinkling. The sun's poking its head out. It's almost complete blue sky above me. It starts raining. But I'm heading towards another little wildlife reserve, kind of nestled here in southeast Portland. I recently went to the Beggar's Tick one, and jeez. We got ourselves a little flurry. Steve the amateur historian. Alright, so as I briefly wait for this little flurry of rain to pass through, nestled under this tree, as I was saying, I'm heading to another wildlife reserve. This one I've never been to. I recently went to the Beggar's Tick one, gave it a walk through again, which I'd passed through real briefly a couple years earlier when I was trekking up the Springwater corridor. But this is another one that I've never been to before. I randomly saw it passing by on Foster Road. The entry is near like Foster and 107th. So I'm gonna go give it a check out and see what's going on there as soon as the rain stops. But this is the wetlands, and this looks like the entry. This is what I really noticed when I was passing by on Foster here the other day. I saw this, I was like, oh, well, this is definitely something naturey and awesome. They've even got a garden growing up here. Yeah, see, this is what I knew when I was walking the Springwater corridor back in 2018. I noticed there was just a lot. Beggar's Tick where I've been. I remember passing a lot of these. There's a Leach Botanical Garden. Yeah. So if I would have stayed on 110th where I was, here's the Brookside Wetlands. So I'm starting here and I'm going to kind of weave my way to here and then maybe go further here. It depends on, what I can access. It's important to remember these aren't like, these aren't little parks. These aren't places to come and like picnic. They're places that have a very specific purpose. And if you want to come see them and show your respect, but also acknowledge that these are things that are being cleaned up, maintained for our future, then, just know what this is. This isn't like a park. So we're entering here at the Foster Floodplain Natural Area, roughly off of Foster between 106th and 107th. There's a few vehicles here, so I'm not the only one taking in the nature today, it looks like. Looks like here's the main path going in. And actually the Springwater corridor comes out at this intersection too, so they almost kind of meet one another. Didn't take long to see the first signs of homeless camps being set up out here. That's just great. Again, I'm usually sympathetic towards that, but, we could burn this place down. Just one idiot. Got our tall bridge here. And I believe this is Johnson Creek down here. I know Johnson Creek is in the vicinity. Just runs under the bridge here. Bridge with just random tagging. All right, here we go. Camping prohibited, and what looks like a trail. And you know, because obviously the fencing is here, the trail is here, this sign is right in the middle of it, so I'm wondering if these are maybe trails specifically for people that like maintain the area, not intended for the wild travelers such as myself. You can tell people have camped over there and lit a fire. That's great. Yeah, see, because you can see that little trail goes up to this, which is obviously closed off, so this is probably for people out here maintaining this. It is beautiful out here. You walk in just far enough and you feel a little bit more like you're not in the city anymore, even though you've got the city right behind you right there. And I want to say this is Mount Scott. I've never fully gotten the lowdown on exactly where Mount Scott is. All I know is that the Mount Scott neighborhood is not actually on Mount Scott, at least as far as I understand it. Look at this though. Ooh, hold on. Ooh, hello. My first sign of wildlife. Ooh, you're a youngin' too. Hello. I love that when they turn and look at you and they just kind of lift their hands up. Sometimes they'll put their paw on their chest, like me. You looking at me? Yeah, I'm looking at you. How you like it out here? I know, you're probably not taking questions. That's all right. I get it. I wouldn't trust any human coming out here if I was you either. But as I was about to say, look at this view dead ahead. These are the kind of things that even 4K video like I've got right here just can't capture. They can't capture the full essence of, you know, actually being there. I wish this trail just went on forever. And so again, this is, I think it's called like the Foster Floodplain. Here's another mystery trail that's not blocked off. So I'm just gonna, at least 70-80% odds there's a homeless camp down here. Just curious. Get to see a little bit more of the floodplain itself. I was gonna say there probably was some buildup of water. Yeah, you got like this little, I mean, especially after the rain yesterday, it wouldn't surprise me. Again, there's nothing saying I couldn't go through here. And if there's like, you know, this is just kind of mushy ground. I'm not trampling down any plant life. And it almost looks like a trail you're allowed to go off on. Otherwise, I wouldn't dream of going off on this. Oop, gotta be careful. I've already soaked both my feet today. Does it really matter? Bunch of old wood, and there's like a little pond, something or other. There's something right there. Wow. Yeah, there's like a little, it is a floodplain, so you know, especially after the rains yesterday. Would not surprise me. Yeah, this is definitely a trail. At first I was thinking maybe it wasn't, but it's not blocked off, and like, look at it. It's like a alternate way to come through here. Stunning. And this may just kind of, the trail looks like it's just kind of becoming one with the little stream of water. So I won't go too much further. So yeah, it just keeps kind of going off through there. All right, heading back to the main trail. Because yeah, this looks like a genuine trail till you get to about here, and then starts mushing with the water. So I wouldn't want to proceed any further than that. And I don't even want to suggest a lot of other people come down in here, because you never know who's gonna do what. So I'm coming down here and showing you what it's like down here for you. That is really interesting, whatever that is. It almost looks kind of old, like it's the remains of something that used to be out here, but I don't know. Here's where it gets a wee bit treacherous. Just gotta maneuver yourself through here. And then it goes off through there, and this is the hardest part. Just kind of meandering oneself through this. Well, at least I didn't see a bunch of like homeless camp stuff set up down here. That's positive. Let me check this out. That is a big fella right there. Looks like that's been down for a while. And we're back up on the main trail. Yeah, so as I understand it, this ultimately comes out at 108th. As I understand it. And yeah, you know, there's not a lot of stuff like this to see in Southeast Portland, so I'm trying to take it all in as I vlog. Well, I don't know. I was thinking that was trash, but I can't really tell. Could be bags full of something or other. There's actually some homes over here. God, I wonder what those things cost. There's another kind of sort of pseudo path. Again, I don't want to... Yeah, look at that house over there. How much do you think that thing's worth? Dear Lord. I wouldn't mind having that house. Tall like that on the edge of a mountain. Having all this to look at. Take that in a second. So we're kind of running almost parallel to Foster Road now. And this is interesting. It's one of these trees where like it's still kind of lively, but at the top it's kind of dying out a little bit. It looks like weeping willows. I love you and miss you, and I don't see enough of you in Southeast Portland. You see a lot of these where all the nice houses are. Actually, I'm now realizing the trail actually comes out. Yeah, right up here, the trail actually comes out at that big house I saw. Not necessarily the end of my exploration, mind you, even though that's the kind of quick, short trail through this thing. but there's apparently another wildlife reserve. Underwear, that is very well placed out here. But yeah, there's apparently a wildlife reserve just over here, which makes a lot of sense considering the look of this area. Well, this is very, very peace-inducing, very nice. I'm also like more than an hour away from home. This is kind of cool through here. A line of trees. It almost looks like a trail, but that looks like more like one of those things where it's just kind of, they're just kind of playing with you. I don't know though, you know? Why not give it a little bit of a glance? Again, there's nothing saying this is area that you can't go into, nothing saying you're disturbing the wildlife or floodplain or whatever. This looks, I mean, you see it cut right through here. This could also maybe be a trail connecting to the wildlife reserve. I really don't know. I just love these trees. There's lots of like just wood slats out here. There's that. That's pretty cool. I'm assuming intentionally done as well. I don't know, this could be a legitimate trail leading somewhere. It's kind of bizarre through here how it just kind of opens up, but it's like really cool at the same time. And there's a road right there. Does it just end here? That's kind of uneventful. Unless it, you know, there's a big pond there. So yeah, I think it just kind of ends here. I mean, I see a sign over there. And what kind of looks like a minuscule trail. What does that sign say? Oh, hello. Oh, hello. So anyway, long story short, I walked back that little area. I saw what kind of looked like a trail, and then in the distance I saw a sign. There was a path leading up to it, but a sign that said like no trespassing, no dumping. I wasn't certain if that was like people just don't come in here, period, type sign, or if it was more for homeless people, because I saw a big homeless camp set up there. So I decided not to rock the boat and just turned and exited out, because I didn't know if I was going to be genuinely violating the law. And the trail didn't look like it went very far, so it could have been just something that led me to nowhere, and I didn't want to end up traipsing on any wetland space. And it would have been somewhere back in that area. But anyway, I'm back on 112th, and I'm gonna see if there's any part of this wildlife refuge that I can actually see still. This is okay. I'm gonna come back this way because it looks like, yeah, you can enter the wildlife refuge over there. So yeah, here's a little view of Johnson Creek again, a little further east. It's kind of cool having this up next to the road bridge. You can kind of see creek down there. And this creek actually starts at the Willamette River in Milwaukee, like literally 112 or so blocks that way. And I think this just kind of dumps you onto this little sidewalk up here. But it's cool that they kind of put this here for you. Let's head on back this way. Yeah, and if you go along up that hill, go off this way long enough, you end up at like the Willamette National Cemetery. Huge. This is cool. They've got this. I'm sure it floods out here, especially since there's a floodplain right here. They have this to measure the water levels. Okay. So yeah, so I see an entry down here to the wetland. Man, it's gonna be like 7, it's gonna be like almost 8 o'clock at night before I get home, but I'm out here and I want to see this. Okay. Because I saw this little concrete thing here and I was like, is that the entry to a path? But then I saw all this signage up here. Well, and it is an entry path, so I guess, you know, I was right. I'll take my mask off. I don't know how much of this, it's an enticing path, but I don't know if I want to go down there, especially since I see there's a lot of the, you know, the kind of chicken wire stuff showing that they're protecting certain bits and pieces of plant life out here. So I don't want to be butting my ugly ass up against that. And I see stuff over there, so I know maybe this is a more genuine trail. Yeah, it looks like they have a trail that kind of wraps around this whole thing. Brookside Wetland, that is the name of this spot. Here's a little bit of info in relation to that. It was created to provide flood storage for the Johnson Creek watershed. This single wetland area can store up to 20 million gallons of flood water. To accomplish this, Johnson Creek was reconnected to its floodplain. So they actually reconnected it. And here's kind of a little outline of how the area looks like. So I think this is the whole floodplain. Because, well, here's 110th. Wait, so I'm here. So this whole area I'm seeing here is just this little area. But yeah, I guess you can step up to a few spots and see what it looks like. So that's more than enough for me. What's that? Well, I'll save that for the end. Do a little wrap around. So this is the primary spot that people get to peruse. Yeah, so, you know, wetland to help with the flooding, try to help keep any floodwaters in the area from hitting the city, but it's very nice out here. So yeah, I'm just gonna do this full circle and I will get to see what I will get to see. They even give you some benches to sit on to just kind of let loose, stare off in the distance. What is on this bench? What is this a can of? This looks like an old can. Maybe it's just been here a while. It's like a can of dog food. What is this? Okay, so there's a few signs along this. Oh, I just saw a rabbit run into the brush here. I don't know if that came out on video, but yeah, he just ran through here. Okay. Please, no swimming, no fishing. Giant rocks have been strategically placed along the bank to help get closer to the action without stepping on plants. So this is, it looks like it hasn't been cleared out recently, but this is a legitimate path to get down to a viewpoint of the water. I'm trying to avoid any possible poison oak. There we go. This is not the safest setup in the world. Especially when it gets wet. Try not to. So yeah, you get a little bit of a view down here. Just hasn't really been maintained well. And there's a bunch. There's a big homeless camp, like a big homeless setup right there. And then there's a bunch more off in the trees. Yeah, it's getting really out of control, and well, that's what happens when you're in a city that doesn't do anything about it. I just, the other day, saw the mayor of Portland said something like, we need to really start rethinking the way we're handling the homeless situation. I'm like, really? You're all the way through your first term and you're just now realizing that? You know? I understand and appreciate that a lot of homeless people end up hiding or staying in places where they have to hide, but they usually stay, like, you know, under freeways and stuff, like things that where they're out of the way, but they're also like staying out of the rain, staying out of the wind. You know, I don't mind, you know, especially I appreciate that they try to stay in places like, you know, places that are kind of hidden away. Well, they want to be able to stay as long as they can where they're staying, because it's a pain for them to move. But you know, it's really frustrating when the problem is so bad that you have massive, like, I can see all the tents. Like right there, that thing right there is like one of many tents over there. So when, you know, homeless camps start butting up against, you know, necessary, important wildlife reserves like this, like, it's a real sign. And that, like, seriously, like, literally, it looked like a shopping mall. This is a big camp over here. This isn't just one person. Yeah, and you see, I bet you this leads right to it. I'm not gonna get too close, but you've got this wraparound here. This is, you know, with how this is knocked down, obviously this is probably something that, like, people who, like, explore the area, like, they would go through here. But it's just become a haven for, you know, yeah. Well, of course, you know, some homeless people just don't give a shit. Surprised there's no one over here. Hear the birds. Yeah. And this just starts bringing us closer to the freeway. Yeah, this is all just a massive homeless camp over here. Massive, like it's a city. It's like a tent city. And I can even see up there people living out of a van. See, that's it. Those are all tents there. Yeah. So that whole area over there, just across the creek, it's all one big freaking tent city. With all this essential plant life. One of them, you know, starts a fire to keep themselves warm at night, what have you. Could burn, literally torch this whole thing. You know, fortunately, you know, the weather's shifted and, you know, it's wetter. It's just particularly wet right now. And this looks like another trail, but I don't know if there's any homeless people on this side. I think this is the trail you go down to see, like, the actual, like, birds and things like that. Yeah, there's a lot of these no camping signs up, but of course a lot of homeless people aren't gonna pay attention to that. Yeah, see, these are the very, these are like at all parks now to keep people from staying or camping out here. I wanna see. You can really see all the ducks. Oh my God, look at that over there. That's amazing. There's so many of them. I love ducks. I love them. I don't know if I'm gonna get a better view down here. This trail obviously goes off this way. You can kind of see it weaving through. And again, you know, if a sign says you can't come through here, I'm not going to do it, especially in a place like this. But I haven't seen any signs like that, so that's my my situation. Look at how crisp. This is some of the most crisp green grass I have seen. I mean, it's the summer just ended, and this grass is so crisp. It's about as close as I can get before my feet really start sinking into the ground. Look at how many of them there are. It's really great that they have their own little place down here. Okay. So I'm guessing this comes out more towards the side, because they said this is more the area where you can see the birds from. Yeah, here we go. I wonder what this was. It was something. Okay, good. We connected with a little bit more of a... Oh God, I just went right through a spider web. Yeah. Look at that. That's awesome. No fishing, no swimming. Yeah, so this is the pond, I think the pond area I just saw with all the ducks. Not as many, well, what am I talking about? Ducks or birds? Okay, I just had a total brain lapse right there. What is this? Where the wild things nest and rest. Is there another trail? It's really, like, the trails aren't that well maintained, so it's hard to tell. This probably isn't a trail. I'm just guessing. I mean, yeah. I was just wondering. I think this is just something, a little extra information. And what is, okay, I guess this is just a thing for kids to play on. I was wondering if it was like something to get a good view of something, but I'm like, a view of what? This people's backyard? Just a little something for the kids to play on. And it's temporarily closed, which makes sense. Could be COVID all over that thing. Ooh, it's staring off into the sun. They're squawking. Oh, there goes two of them. All right, well, that was fun. You know, quick but fun. And I think, yeah, this just becomes residential up here, so there's nothing more to see this way. So it was a fun little adventure. I mean, the homelessness thing kind of pisses me off, but yeah, that was just a fun little adventure. The Brookside Wetland. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little walkabout. I just love finding little things like this in my little quadrant of the city, even though they're not really, Portland's not really broken into quadrants anymore, but stuff like that is very rare in Southeast Portland, so I love it when I can find it wherever I can find it. So thank you so much for joining me on this little what is that? So this is this little exploration about this cute little wetland area. So as always, remember to like, share, subscribe, hit up my Patreon if you want to help me out. That way it would be much appreciated. And all that said, till next time, this has been Steve the Amateur Historian, and I'll see you next time.